Good evening. I thought I'd get on here and kind of talk about some things. And it's been a while, so thanks for tuning in. And so something came across my inbox today. This is IP28, and this is something that's set up for 2026. And so obviously we still have time. And the way we can actually fight this is we can use the rules. And so I've been doing a little bit of digging. There was a comment that kind of steered me in the right direction, and I'll let some of you guys jump in here. I'm kind of speaking a little fast. I'm kind of tuned up just because of I got I got banned on Facebook. I got a 24-hour ban because of a post that I put in there, and it was the one about the gun store clerk muzzling the camera. And for some reason Facebook thought I was trying to sell guns, and so they put a 24-hour ban on me. So it was kind of tense there for a little bit. I had to, luckily I got everything restored so I can give this information to you guys. So kind of what I'm looking at is this looks like it's going to be similar to IP13, which they've done before. And it's where they're trying to basically outlaw hunting. There's no actual language yet attached to this because this is still being loaded into the system. And so what it looks like is, and if you guys can see this, let me know. Yeah, I see some people tuning in. I'm only using a different screen because I want to share my screen because I want you guys to see what I found. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share my screen. So get give me 1 second to get there, and we'll kind of talk about what we can do. And I like this because we can actually get to it and we can stop it before it becomes something. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see my screen. If you guys can see my screen, let me know. I'm not seeing any comments just because I'm not on Facebook. I'm doing everything. So thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it. So 12:30. Okay, that is it's an ORAS, I believe. And so this is administrative rule. So this is separate from Oregon Revised Statute. It does cite statutes. Here's the PDF. So 1230 here. And so they're the Oregon Revised Statutes here. And what I'll do is I'll find the information. I'll put it in the link of this video so you guys can see it. We have, I believe, until the 18th to file complaints with the Secretary of State's office. I believe I'll find everything out. This is a new process to me, and so I'm still trying to figure out what we do and how we maneuver. But this is really, what we can do to jam them up. And what I noticed from the three chief petitioners, are using like a state address to protect their privacy, right? They want some anonymity because they want to be able to take away your rights, but they don't want to face the music for that. And so that's just something we have to be aware of, is they're using the system against us. I don't know if these people work for the state of Oregon or if they just put that address on there. So I'm not sure. It's still early. So what I'm kind of thinking here is if we can look at these two Oregon Revised Statutes and figure out how we file a petition to review the ballot title. And kind of my thoughts here is this is part of our culture. This is part of our lifestyle. We've been hunting and fishing in this state for since the beginning of the state. And this is something similar to Measure 114, where they're trying to alter the gun culture here in the state of Oregon, yet they don't understand that this was part of the founding of our state. So we talk about in common use, like some of the other constitutionally protected rights. This is something that kind of falls in that spectrum. And I know what they're trying to do is probably climate change is also a way to restrict your rights, take away your guns, and take away your ability to provide for your family, also enjoy your pastime, which is hunting. And I think their all out goal is to ban meat altogether. That's like the big global. And this is obviously, I don't want to speak like I'm wearing a tinfoil hat, but there's a big push to you know go to a not necessarily protein, but there's like a soy based diet, which is not what I'm into, and I know you guys are not into. So basically what we can do is we can fight it the way they would fight us, and I can put all the information here, and maybe we can figure out a way that we can dispute this ballot title. Obviously there's a lot of it that is going to affect all of us, and so it's just another overreach, and it's another attempt by people that have no idea what it's like to go out in the woods, how much time in energy and money that's spent. They don't understand how much money is brought into the state because of the sporting, either buying tags or buying ammunition or firearms. The Pitney Roberts Act actually it funds literally billions of dollars worth of conservation across the country. And so the fact that you don't understand how your mountain bike trails are funded by us buying tags and shotgun shells and rifles and all these different things, accessories, go into funding habitat, which you get to enjoy as somebody that might like to either hike or ride mountain bikes or whatever you want to do, that is contrary to hunting and sportsmen. So it's frustrating, and it seems like it's never ending. But here is, so 12:30 is it's point or 12.30. I'll put the ad or the link in here so you guys can kind of see that and figure out, what we want to do. Is this something where, I mean, I feel that if we're proactive and we're able to stop this in the beginning phases, obviously that's going to set a precedent. That's going to tell them that we're paying attention to this stuff. This stuff is important to us. And maybe it's a way to kind of push back on it, and maybe prevent it from happening in the future, and so, that's kind of some of my thoughts. These are my initial thoughts, and this is just something that, I'm gonna quit sharing my screen. What I'll do is I'll pull all the information into this. I'm gonna stop it real quick. Give me 1 second. Going back. There we go. So appreciate you guys for tuning in. I've been kind of quiet. I've been doing other things. I mean, everybody else, we've kind of had a lull in the fighting. And so I've been able to focus on other things. But, stuff like this that comes up, I think it's a good way for us to, stretch our legs, exercise our abilities, and get involved, and maybe send a message. If we can stop it. Obviously the one thing that we have to be concerned about is the fact that everything we'd be submitting to the Secretary of State. So we're dealing with the same kind of issues that we're dealing when it comes to Measure 114, where basically Attorney General's office is steering this whole mess, which we all know it's unconstitutional. We all know that it doesn't pass the muster. And the problem is now it's us as citizens. We have to actively engage and fight against people that don't understand us and don't want to take the time to get to know us and what we like. But they're our neighbors, so that's kind of the challenge depending on where you live in the state. And so, you know I want to catch it early. I just came across so I have alerts set up for everything, so I can see stuff before, as soon as it hits the pipeline. And so that's why I was able, when I saw that, I'm like, okay, here we go again. And as I was kind of preparing for this video, that's where I started doing the digging on the Secretary of State's website. I noticed that it's not even active. There's no language attached to it. This was just the first initial. So these three guys got together and they came up with an idea. Then they submitted it to the Secretary of State for their approval. And so now they're obviously what's going to happen next. Okay. So let's say if we don't contest this, what the next step will be is it will be assigned an actual ballot title. And then from once they have a ballot title, then they can actually go ahead and they'll gather 1,000 signatures to basically get it where it can be part of the process. And so with that, once it's actually established, then they'll get an actual IP number and everything will be legitimate. And then once they get the final approval, then they'll be able to actually campaign and start, gathering signatures. And, this was not a, from what I saw, I couldn't tell there was going to be a constitutional amendment. I don't know. This is so early. This is literally day one. And so that's where I wanted to kind of bring it to your attention so you guys can kind of see kind of where they're at, what they're going. And, they're going to have until 2026 to get those signatures. And, depending on what they could only need 120,000 signatures. They could need up to 180, depending on 180,000, depending on, what their intent is. So this is all something that we have to be monitoring. If we learned anything from Measure 114, that being complacent, it hasn't helped us, and it's actually been counterproductive to everything that we're seeing now. And so, I'm bringing it up just so you guys it's on your radar. Obviously, I'll do a little bit of research tomorrow and kind of figure out what we can do and what it looks like going forward. And if I can count on people to kind of wake up and get involved, and if your hunting rights are important to you, I mean, this might be the fight you want to get involved in. And so, I'll kind of figure out, what it looks like, and we can go from there. It's just we've had some downtime, and so now it might be time to kind of figure out, where we're at. And, if we want to roll the dice, we could just let them kind of work through the process, and then once it's official, then we can start to fight it. I think that if we could beat it before it becomes anything official, I think that would be very beneficial to us, because what it'll do is it'll give us a sense of accomplishment. It'll tell them that we're actively paying attention, and maybe it'll make it harder for them to come back with stuff in the future. And just so you know, so you can go to the Secretary of State's office website, and you can sign up for these alerts. Every time there's a new ballot initiative, I get an alert, and typically it's a tax issue or, something dumb. I just delete it. I don't save it. But when it's something like this, I'm going to save it, and I'm going to figure out what it means, and I'm going to present it to you guys. So, we can figure out what we're going to do to stop it, and we have to be proactive. We can't sit on our hands and figure out that somebody else is going to do it for us, because, they're going to continue to move. And until we challenge them and say, no more, it's going to continue. And so, that's kind of where I'm at, is I want to be proactive. I wrote a blog post today, and it was in kind of the message that I took for it. It was like, yeah, the saying is, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And so that's what I believe here, is if we're proactive and we do it, and we learn, and we get better, and we get more effective, and we fight in a way that we need to fight forward, then maybe we can send a message and they'll just go away for a little bit and give us some time. So just something to think about. So, I wanted to kind of touch base with you guys and let you know kind of where we're at. I will put all the information in the body of this. Obviously, the Oregon Revised Statutes, I'll put the link in there so you guys can know what it looks like. And then, we'll figure out, if we can file an appeal and what it looks like. So I'll keep you guys posted. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns. It's been a while, I know. I'm glad you guys are here still, though. Like, it's been weird not talking to everybody, and I've missed our conversations, but I've been burnt. Been trying to secure funding, and it's been a challenge. So, but I keep moving. So, hi, Trenda. So, basically, what's happening is there's a new ballot initiative. So it's IP28, I believe. It's basically going to ban hunting in the state of Oregon. So it's a way for them to change our state further in a way that is not beneficial to many of the residents here. It's also a backdoor way to control your firearms as well, because what they'll do is, if you can't hunt, you don't need a rifle type of deal. And so that's kind of where I want to fight this in a direction where we don't have to spend a lot of energy and effort if we can just be on top of it, and if we can just keep the ball in front of us and making sure that we're not letting get information get us, away from us. Hopefully we can stop this stuff and be proactive. No, so I hope that helps, and so, thanks for tuning in, and George, good seeing you. Yeah, so it's not a good thing, Trenda, and what it's done, it's just designed to further change the fabric of our state, and what they don't realize is how much money is associated with the sporting, with hunting, fishing, all of these outdoor conservation, the money that's spent, it's typically not because of the Sierra Club or anything like that. It's typically it's by the sportsmen that are buying the tags, that are buying the ammunition, that are buying the rifles, the supplies that they need to hunt. And there's the Pitney Roberts Act, I believe is what it's called, and it's from, I believe, the 1940s, in that era. But it was something that it generates billions of dollars across the country, and so that's where we have to make sure that we check in. And I know it's the last thing we want to do is do this type of work, but I feel that if we don't, we're going to be in the position where we're going to be with Measure 114, where now we're going to be having to educate our neighbors on how this is a bad bill, and we're going to have to try to stop it at the ballot box. To be between you and me and the fence post, our elections, I feel that the mail-in balloting there's a lot of fraud, and so I don't trust a fair election. And so I don't feel comfortable leaving my gun rights up to the ballot anymore. And I don't feel like leaving our hunting rights up to the ballot anymore. And I feel that it's time that we have to just do what we need to do to stop this stuff. And hopefully it'd be nice to be able to figure out a way to make it harder for them to just write frivolous BS. So that's kind of where I'm at. So um other than that, I don't want to take too much more of your time. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I will keep you guys posted as I hear more. I mean, it's still early in this stuff. This is not, we have until the 18th to file our complaints. And, maybe if we can each file a complaint, I'll see if we can do that. And then I'll put all the information there so we can, as many people as we can get to write a small complaint to the Secretary of State's office challenging this ballot title, that would be very, very helpful. And I think that would benefit us in the long run, and so perfect. I'm gonna hold you to that because I need your help. So I don't have the bandwidth for all of this stuff, and I'm trying to stay positive and focused on the stuff that I got going because I got a lot going on. So other than that, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, I'm going to wrap it up so you guys can have your night back and I can get back to relaxing for a moment. Sharing is caring. Absolutely. So tell a friend that you enjoy meat and you want to continue to hunt, and you don't want your ability to be able to do so affected. So other than that, thank you guys for tuning in. You guys have a great night, and I will talk to you all soon. Thank you.